What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this, I'm going to break down what's going on with Tesla stock, what you should be watching for going forward. I'm also going to talk about SPY, Nvda, and the QQQ, and many tickers out there, and break down some important things about what's going on with the market this morning. Before I break anything down about all this information, before I talk about what's happening with Tesla stock, I do have to mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit any amount of money, you are guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends very soon, so check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. Tesla's up about 5.49% for the day during the pre-market. This thing is looking very, very strong, very, very nice. And the question is, will Tesla continue to rally today, or is Tesla going to just kind of base around here? So I'm going to answer that question in just a couple of minutes. First, let's talk about the market very quickly. There's nothing going on for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for earnings. We have Levi's on Thursday, though. Just wanted to remind you guys about this. And then some things to remember about the stock market is we are going to be closing at 1 o'clock p.m. today. So don't forget about that. This is in Eastern time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, 3 hours before we typically close. The market's going to be closing early for today. So just be prepared for that. And then to add on to that, let me just remind everyone that Janet Yellen is going to be going to China and Beijing for a very important meeting. This could affect Chinese stocks. This could also affect many others out there. So in AI stocks. So just be prepared for this. We also have Tesla jumping, and besides that, there's not much else to say. And then for Monday, just don't forget that's today. We have the PMI report coming out at about 9:45 a.m. Then at 10 o'clock a.m. we have more data coming out that could lead to some more volatility in the markets. It may not be that massive, but it's just worth noting. Finally, for Tesla, we have some very good news that came out. In case you didn't see my previous video, Tesla did over 466,000 deliveries for the second quarter, which is well above the 440 to 450,000 delivery estimate that many of these analysts had. And then to add on to this, they did almost 480,000 units in production, which is very, very awesome. And they broke almost every expectation and blew so many investors away. Now, this is some very, very good news because the outlook on Tesla is very positive now, looking at the news that just came out. We have some analysts from Wedbush who are turning very positive on Tesla. They're reiterating positive outlooks for them, and they said that margins should be improving. They also mentioned that the bears are going to be in a run for their money and that Tesla has, once again, some very, very awesome stuff coming. They also mentioned that Tesla should be reaching $300 very, very soon, and they're very, very bullish on Tesla. They reiterated their target, they increased it, and they're once again very excited. To add on to this, we had other individuals talking about Tesla's valuation going up to about $500 billion after the price cuts and deliveries boosting to an all-time high. So that's also some more bullish news, saying that Tesla is going to continue to add onto its market cap. Share price is going to go up, and more investors are going to likely pour in. That's some more bullish news that just came out. And on top of this news came out right over here about how Tesla shattered expectations with some very, very strong deliveries and is continuing to do very, very well because of that. We had many analysts talking about how Tesla is continuing to dominate its field, and we have more optimistic forecasts continuing to come out. And we saw more analysts say that they're increasing their price targets. There are other ones as well. You could see right over here, we had individuals from RBC Capital saying the same thing. We had Wedbush come out and say it. So once again, more bullish news for Tesla. Things are looking quite nice so far. So anyways, let's talk about the charts. What's going on with Tesla? Tesla's looking quite nice. It's holding up. It's currently around $276 a share, holding this support so far. Now, one thing worth noting is that if Tesla wants to continue to remain bullish, we need to see this thing break and hold above 280. And if it manages to do so, the next important level is going to be around like that 286 to 285 area. There's going to be some resistance at 282.5, but I don't think it's going to be enough to stop it if it does actually break 280. And we could see this thing get closer to like the 285 to 286 area if it manages to break above those resistances. If it breaks down, just hypothetically, right? We like to go over the hypotheticals just to be safe. The major support to watch for is going to be closer to this like 270 area if it does end up breaking down, because that's where our 5 EMA happens to be very close to that level. If that breaks, if it breaks below this and it fails to hold above this, it could have some more downside to get closer to filling this gap. But I think that's very unlikely because I don't see why Tesla would drop that hard after all the news that's coming out has been very bullish for it. All these analysts are upgrading Tesla. Some of them are saying Tesla's going to $300 very soon, and many, many other bullish things. So in my opinion, what's more likely to happen is Tesla might try to pop a little bit, cool off throughout the day, just be kind of like sideways to start us off, then it might just start popping even higher and eventually test this 280 area. So I'm expecting some sideways price action in the beginning, another push up to around this 280 area. I think Tesla's going to try to break above this and try to make its way up to these higher levels. But we need some confirmation. Let's see this thing break 280 first. I think that's likely going to happen very soon, and we're going to see Tesla try to make its way up to the mid 280s. Now, the thing about this is I don't think Tesla's going to go all the way up to 300 in just one day, but over the next couple of trading days, it most definitely has the potential to do so. This is also looking quite nice as investors are pouring in and more people are becoming optimistic for it. Now, going into the market, though, things are going to be a little bit different. And the thing about Tesla is, yes, it has more potential to try to break this 280 area, but it's going to be limited today because the market is closing at 1 p.m. Eastern time, a little bit early. But I'm still trying to tell you guys, as I predicted yesterday, I told you Tesla's going to likely gap up very big. We got the gap up so far. Could we continue to go? I think the odds favor that so far. It's going to start off a little bit sideways to start us off. Kind of be stuck between this like 275 to 280 range for some time before it finally breaks out. And I think there's going to be a good chance of it breaking 280 and then trying to make its way up for today. That's what I'm predicting. But I don't think it's going to be like a massive surge today during the open hours to like 300 or something like that. I don't really see that happening just yet because of the facts that it's going to be a short day and less volume. But to add on to that, SPY is likely going to be kind of boring today. It's very sideways so far. We have major resistance around 440, and major support is going to be actually at about 400. That's like the really strong support. If that breaks, then it could turn a lot more bearish. But for now, it's still kind of stuck. I think it's just going to be very sideways today. Push up a little bit more. It could actually turn green for some time, then come right back down and just continuing to trade sideways. Not really do too much. It's going to be a low volume day. That's what tends to happen. Lots of chop, and we may see things continue to improve going into like Wednesday. So I just wanted to note that NEO is also up quite nicely. It actually gapped up and it is coming down just a little bit. If it breaks below $10, it could start to cool off a little bit more and get closer to filling this gap. If not, it could try to bounce and just continue pushing. I think it's going to try to continue pushing, though I don't think it's done just yet. So just wanted to note that. For the QQQ, this thing is once again around this like 370 area for now. If it breaks above 370.999 or the pre-market high, it has the potential to go all the way up to the 372s. It also has this nice inverse head and shoulder structure that's continuing to play out. There's a good chance it's going to reach all the way up to about 372.8 either today or as soon as the later days of the week. Tesla is going to likely help drag this thing up. It has a lot of potential to do so. So maybe later on during the week, going into Wednesday, it could happen. Nvidia is also looking quite decent. It also has a very similar structure with the inverse head and shoulder. I could see this thing making attempts to hold up and even like push up. But for now, let's just watch this very carefully and see how this ends up performing. It could continue to uptrend and approach these like high levels over the next couple of trading days. Could take another week or so until that happens. But for today specifically, it is gapping up just a tiny bit. It's very flat, so I'm expecting some very sideways price action. Not a whole lot of volatility. But I just wanted to note this. With that said, there's not a whole lot to talk about with the market. Most stocks out there are going to be very sideways, not really do too much, but I think Tesla has potential to try to continue pushing. What do I see happening first? Once again, guys, sideways price action, maybe a tiny bit of a drop and just very sideways price action, not a whole lot first. Then an eventual attempt to break out. Just watch 280's resistance. After that, there's 282 2.5, which has some resistance, nothing too strong though. 285 to 286 comes next, and then potentially 290, which I don't really think is going to go that high today, but I still believe it's very possible for it to continue to get to those levels later on. All right, guys, that's what I'm seeing for Tesla. With that said, thank you all so much for listening. I think the odds do favor more upside. I think it's looking quite nice. And we're going to be watching this very carefully alongside the market, okay? Thank you for listening. Have a very great day. Remember, the market's closing early at 1 p.m. Eastern time, so I'll see you guys very soon for the next video. Tesla to the moon alongside the whole market as the long term is still incredibly bright. And peace out.